Okay, so as I was saying, how do you write down the answer in Schoology? You have to write down the number that has a bigger constant. So since 5 is positive, it's bigger than any negative number. So for number 6, the acceptable answer in Schoology will be, okay, I need to go to number 6, but it's not. My pen is going there. Okay, right there. Oh, it's dancing again. So x plus 5 and then x minus 11. That's how you write it. Okay? All right, and I'll teach you another method. See, from the students that I have during office hours, I think it's the other way around. I learned their shortcuts, their techniques. Yeah? Okay, I need a lot of space, so I'm going to erase all these so I can start all over. Yeah, so unfortunately, all my schedules for this week are taken. I'm so sorry, my calendar is full, but you can have your schedule next week. Okay, so let me try. Which one did you guys want me to try? Oh, I want to do number 9. Somebody asked me that earlier. Okay, so number 9. In number 9, you can see that they're not arranged yet, right? See, this is g squared. It has to be first. The constant or the number that is by itself has to be last. So let's switch them around. Put the g squared here. I'm not changing the sign because there's no equal sign, so you're not crossing an equal sign. You're just rearranging them. Okay, so this is the leading term, g squared, because it has the highest power. Negative 16g and then 48 must come last. Okay, so, oh, I should have written it. Wait, I need to write it with more space on top because I want to show you what I learned from a student. Okay, so the student said, Miss, I just put antennas for this one. And then, the student writes down all the possible factors. Yeah, let's say, what would that be? 12 times 4, right? Or 6 times 8, okay? And then this is the cool thing that I found or that I discovered and I learned from that student. The student said that um, he's not very good at, signed numbers. So he said, Miss, I don't know when it's positive and negative. So I line them up like this. I put a 12 and a 4. And that's how I figure out, Miss, which one is negative or if both of them are negative. So he wants to get a negative 16 as an answer. So then he plays around with it. Like if I put a negative there, oh, negative 12 plus 4, that should have been a negative 8. That's not what I want. I make another negative right there. Oh, yeah, look at that. Negative and negative, when you subtract, is still negative. And then 12 and 4 is 16. That's so cool, right? I did not even think of it that way. Uh-huh. So now I found a method that's more cool than my X method. Yeah. Okay. So you can also do that if that makes more sense to you because you can kind of see when lined up that, oh, yeah, I get that negative right there. Uh huh. Okay. So then what are the answers here? So the answers will be G minus 4 and then G minus 12. So why did I put negative 4 first? Because negative 4 is closer to 0. So if it's negative, the closer to 0 the number is, it means bigger, right? So what is this? Number 9. G minus 4 and then G minus 12. Okay, so now I want you to pick one items from the ones from the, who farted? Okay, so I want you to pick one, all right? Oh, my students heard you fart. So pick one from the numbers that I haven't done, try it out, and then let me know in the chat what you guys get. Okay, so can I give you about 5 minutes to do one? Okay, go ahead. Choose one. Just one. I'm not asking for a lot. Just one. Try it out. It doesn't matter which one you do. Okay. All right. I'll give you a few more minutes, and if you finish one item, go ahead and start sharing in the chat pod so I can write some of them on the screen and we can share our notes. Okay, number 2. All right, that's correct. Anna, good job. Who else finished any? Number 3 is x plus 9, x minus 3. That's great, Emily. That's awesome. Who else? Imagine if all of you did one, we'll probably be done with this assignment, right? And remember, there's 15, but I'll probably make it over 10, so some of the points will be extra credit. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. All right. So thank you to Anna and Emily for sharing what they did. All right. I hope to see more, but if you're not yet done and you're still working on it, just let us know in the chat. Oh, here we go. Number 15, n plus 6, and then n minus 3. That's great, Andrea. That's awesome. Okay, so I want us to switch over to our OneNote. Okay, so let's go to OneNote. There's another lesson that's similar but slightly different. Okay, so whatever we learned today, we're still going to use it in the next lesson. We'll just kind of modify it slightly. Okay, I'm going to clear these ink. I hope that you have written down whatever you need to write down. So remember, just continue working on this. This assignment is due when? I forgot, but I think it's this Thursday. Okay. So now let's go to OneNote. You should have a folder called Week 8. Week 8. And in it, you will see factoring trinomials. Factoring trinomials. Should look like this. Okay. And as usual, the images download very, very slowly. I should have kept it open from the previous period. But can you let me know in the chat if you guys see it? It's in week 8. And let me know if you see the images. It's called factoring trinomials. So if you see the images, can you please type factoring in the chat pod? That's what we call our lesson today. Oh, it's showing now. Okay, if it's showing on factoring, thank you. Thank you. All right, there you go. So factoring is what we're doing, what we've been doing in the past few days. Okay, we've been factoring, breaking down some expressions and stuff like that. Okay, so we're gonna step it up a little bit. Ooh, look at that X method right there. I couldn't find something in Google, so I had to create my own. Let me explain what that means. But before I explain, can you tell me which one makes, what makes these problems different from what we did earlier? Oh no. Oh, I know you're gonna participate too, huh? Can you go to the living room because mommy is singing? We can't talk at the same time. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. So, where was I? Yeah. So, what makes these problems, different from what we were doing earlier? My daughter feels bad about me now. Okay. So, what do you see in this problem that we didn't see earlier? Look at this. You see those numbers? They weren't there before, right? So the numbers there were just 1s squared, 1g squared. Did you see that difference? If we go back here, see, it's just 1b squared, 1m squared, 1x squared. But now, right? So you found that too easy, so we're going to step it up a little bit. This time, the a is greater than 1. So how are we going to do that? I'm going to start with number 1 right now, so I can explain the process to you. Okay, so let me copy 2x squared plus bx plus 2. Okay. Oh, why did I put bx? So it's going to be 5x plus 5x. All right. Okay, so as you guys can see, they should be arranged in order A, B, C. A, B, C. Greatest power, power is 1, no variable. Yeah? Okay, so let me use the X method again. Later on, I'll show you another method that you guys can use. The first thing you're going to do is you multiply the first number to the last number. That's what we didn't do before. 2 times 2 is 4, right? But actually, if you think about it, if this was 1, 1 times 2 will just be equal to 2. That's why we just copy the constant. Okay, so if there's a letter A in front, you just multiply them. 2 times 2 is 4. Now we do the same thing. We copy the middle term and put it in the middle or at the bottom. 5. Yeah? You're going to mute yourself, honey, so your teacher doesn't hear me, okay? Yeah? Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, so now we're going to look for these two numbers in the same way as we did earlier. So we'll find two numbers that multiply to 4, but they add up to 5. So can you help me with that? What two numbers multiply to 4 and add up to 5? 4 and 1. That's great. So 4 and 1. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. Okay, so here's the only new thing we're going to do in this lesson. If there is a number in front, since you multiplied it earlier, how do you undo multiplication? What's the reverse operation of division? So the only new thing you're going to do is divide these numbers you came up with by the same number you multiplied by. So over 2 over 2. That's the only extra thing you will do. It says reduce if possible. 1/2, you cannot reduce that anymore. So you're going to keep it. Okay? You're going to keep it. But 4 divided by 2 can be reduced. What's 4 divided by 2? What's 4 divided by 2? What's 4 divided by 2? Anybody? What's 4 divided by 2? 2! There you go. Okay, so now how do you write down the answers? You write down the answers the same as you were doing earlier. If it's a regular number, you do x plus 2. Yeah, x plus 2. Okay. But for this one, if you write it in the same way as x plus 1/2, okay, and check your answer, x times x, you will not get 2x squared. So what are you going to do with the 2? Some teachers call this method bottoms up. Bottoms up. Yeah? Okay, so why bottoms up? Because the bottom number, the 2, goes in front of the variable. So move that 2 up right there, and it will become 2x plus 1. And let's see, if we multiply back, do we get 2x squared? Well, let's see, x times 2x. Oh yeah, that's 2x squared, right? Okay, so for number 1, it's going to be what? This one has a bigger constant, so I have to write it first. X plus 2, and then 2x plus 1. That's the answer to number 1. Okay. So let's summarize what we're doing new. We divide by the first number or the value of a, and then if there is a denominator, we put the denominator in front of the variable. So bottoms up, okay? All right. Now let me show you another method that students actually use without, using any x and stuff like that. They just do trial and error. Yep, you heard me right. And let's try by doing trial and error over here. Okay. Alright, so when you do trial and error, you know your answers will look like binomials. Yeah? Okay, honey, you gotta be patient because mommy's teaching. Okay. Alright, so you got 3n squared plus 5n plus 2. So we're looking for two numbers that, that multiply to 2. Where's my thingy-majiggy? Okay, they multiply to 2 when we put them right here. So we know it's 2 and 1, right? Now I have it, honey. So just be patient because mommy's teaching. You see mommy's writing on the screen right there? Yeah? My students are watching that, so you gotta be patient. Okay, so you can also switch these two around, like 2 times 1 like that. Yeah? Okay, so we're trying all the possible combinations. Okay, let me tie your hair now so you can be back to your Zoom, okay? Alright. Oh, you're having a break? Oh, wow. Good for you. Okay, there you go, honey. That's pretty. Okay, so 1 times 2 or 2 times 1. Those are the possibilities. We're only dealing with the 2 for now. Now we're going to break down this 3n squared. Let me just close the door. My husband's going to complain. Whew, work from home is so complicated, you guys. I feel you. Okay, so let's break the 3n squared apart, yeah? Okay, so I can have the 3n here and then maybe 1n right there because this is 3 times 1, right? 3 times 1. This one earlier was 2 times 1. You don't have to write those down. It could just be in your head. Or I can pair up the 3n with the 2 and the n here, yeah? Since all of them are positive, I could just do plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1. Okay, later, honey. All right. So now, how do we know which one is right? How do we know which one is right? You have to multiply this. That's going to be n. And then the outer ones, that's going to be 6n. If you add them, do you get 5n? If not, then that's not the answer you want. So this is wrong. Okay, let's try again. How about this? 2n, right? So that's 2n. And let's multiply this. That looks like a face. Okay, so 3n times 1 is 3n. Oh, look at that. When you add them, do you get 5n? If your answer is yes, then you have found the correct answer already. So the correct answer for number 2 is 3n plus 2 and then n plus 1. So that's by trial and error. It just seemed longer because my kid was interrupting us so many times. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. Okay. All right. So that's trial and error. Okay. So if you can get it by trial and error, you can also use that. All right. So what method do you guys like more? X method or trial and error? I personally suggest you're going to do the X method. At least for the first set, for the first time that you guys will do it. Yeah, because it's kind of easier to keep track of where the error is coming from. Okay, let's try again. Number 3. 3g squared minus 7g plus 2. Okay, so let's do the X. So, okay, so 3 times 2 is 6. Yeah? So 6. If we multiply 3 times 2. The middle one is negative 7. There you go. Now help me out, you guys. I need factors of 6 that combine to negative 7. Factors of 6 that combine to negative 7. Factors of 6 that combine 7. Okay, negative 6, negative 1. That's great. Okay, but what's the extra thing we're doing here? We're going to divide by what? Divide by what? By 3. Awesome. Alright, so let's divide here by 3. Let's divide here by 3. Okay, this one, you're going to leave it as it is, right? Because that cannot be reduced anymore. But what is this equal to? What's negative 6 divided by 3? Negative 6 divided by 3. Negative 2. Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to write down the answer. For this, it's going to be G take away 2. But how do you write the answer for this if it has a bottom number? What should I write first? 3G take away 1. You guys are great at this one. Okay, so, but what should I write first in Schoology? This one is bigger because negative 1 is closer to 0. So 3G minus 1 and then G minus 2. All right? Okay, so you guys are, I can see some of you are really, really good at this one. Okay, there's one more thing that I want to show you. This one's slightly different. Slightly different. Let's see. Have you copied down the answers to 1, 2, and 3? Because once I clear the ink, they're going to be gone. Well, you can see them in the video later on, but okay. So I'm going to clear this ink right now. And I want us to jump to number, where is it? Where was it? Oh, number 8. There you go. I almost missed it. Number 8. Number 8. Okay, so number 8 is not ready for X method yet. Okay, let me copy number 8 up here. 8p squared minus 16p minus 10. Number 8. 8p squared minus 16p minus 10. Did I copy it correctly? 8p squared minus 16p minus 10. Okay. So this is not ready for X method. Why? Because look at 8, 16, and negative 10. Can you think of a number that can divide both of them or all of them at the same time? Can you find a GCF for that one? Can you find a GCF for 8, 16, and negative 10? What number can divide all of them? What number can go into them? 2. Very good. So that means you're going to divide all of them by 2. Isn't that our lesson before we did the X method? GCF? Okay, so now you see them, working together. Yeah? Okay. So in fact, if you do the X method right away, you will only get a partial answer. But when you multiply your partial answers together, it won't give you the original problem. And the reason for that is because when you reduce the fraction, the GCFs go away. So that makes it wrong. Okay, so the GCF is 2. Let's divide everything by 2 and tell me what you guys get. If you divide the first term by 2, what do I write here? 8 divided by 2, that's going to be what? What will be my first term? 4. Very good, Emily and Anna. So 4p squared. Same thing here. You do the same thing. Negative 16p divided by 2 is negative 8p. That's great. Negative 10 divided by 2, negative 5. That's awesome. And if you notice, all numbers 1, 2, and 3 that we did previously, they have no GCF but 1. So they don't have a greatest common factor. So they were ready for X method. Okay, so now once you have factored out the GCF, you're now ready to do the X method, but not for the green one. You will do the X method for the new one. So 4 times negative 5, that will go up here to be negative 20, right? And then negative 8 goes to the bottom. And they must add up to that. They must add to negative 8. So can you find two factors of negative 20 that add to negative 8? What are the factors of negative 20? That was fast. All right. So negative 10 and then positive 2. Oh, if you have younger siblings, because my 8-year-old received like boxes with a red and a blue like bag. They have a multiplication table in there. You guys could use that too. Yeah, I I had an office hours student the other week, and yeah, she said, Miss, I found a multiplication table. Yeah, so you could use that. All right, so after finding negative 10 and 2, you gotta divide. But you don't divide by the original, because once you break out the GCF, you forget about that already. You just gonna divide by 4. So let's divide by 4. There you go. All right, now let's see what happens. We can reduce this one, right? If we divide it by 2, we get a negative 5. If you divide it by 2, you get a 2. Okay, if you divide both by 2, you get a 1/2. Okay, so when you write down the answer, it's going to be bring down your GCF. Yeah? Okay, and then for the first one, how do you write if it has a denominator? Can you tell me what to write in the first factor? Or that's negative. So maybe I should put the negative over here because that's positive right there. So positive is bigger than negative. So tell me what to write or how to write the negative 5/2 as a factor. How do I write it? Bottoms up rule, remember? So what comes first? How do I write this as a factor? Oh, yeah. So 2p plus 1. Very good, Emily. That's for the 1/2. Perfect. So 2p plus 1. What about this if it has a negative? The bottom's up again. The bottom number goes in front. 2p minus 5. Very good. And that's the reason why I put the positive 1 in here, because positive 1 is bigger than negative 5. Yeah? So you have to put the positive number first in Schoology, or the bigger number before the factor with a smaller constant. All right, and those are the only possibilities for this lesson. Okay, so now I'm going to give you some time again. I'm going to like clear this ink. All right, so go ahead and find, one number that you guys would like to try. How do I make this smaller? Okay, there you go. So some of them we've done already. Go ahead and pick one. Not asking for a lot, pick one, but if we combine all those one items that you guys finish, we'll probably be halfway done by the end of the period. So you don't have to do a lot on your own. Okay, so pick one that you would like to do on your own, and I'll ask you again after maybe like 5 minutes. Okay, so give yourself 5 minutes to do that while I check your attendance. Okay. Chris Barrera is here. Chris, can you try to access this and log in, honey? Amaya's here. Okay. Zayden. Yep. If you guys can access the link that I sent in the chat pod, can you please sign in? Giselle Guzman is not here. Bella's not here. Stefano, I remember Stefano's name is okay, but not today. All right. Okay. Carlo is here. If you guys can access this in the chat, can you please type in your name? Anthony. Nope. Angelina was here. Okay, so what happened to Angelina's internet? George is here. That's why it's important you guys to log in right away. Where's Kyle? I saw Kyle. You missed our office hours yesterday, honey. I waited for you. You forgot? Okay, Jacob. Okay. So are we gonna reschedule it, Kyle? My next Monday is free. Wait, I gotta check my phone. So yeah, because I know I scheduled you yesterday. Okay, I have one tomorrow. I have one on Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, I'm not. Oh, I have one on Monday, Kyle. Tuesday next week, the 9th. Can you tell me in the chat pod if I'm gonna schedule you on the 9th? That's Tuesday next week. Yes, honey. It's Zoom bombing me. See, I have students in there. They're gonna see you. Yeah, and they would know that you were late to your Zoom. Okay, go get some snack then. Okay, finish one, and then we're gonna write down your answers on the screen after. Are you hurt? Mm-hmm. Go, 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 come on. Number 16. Oh, wow. Okay. So, did you divide by... Okay, if I write 10p 2 times, honey, I'm going to get 100p squared. Yep. Can you double check on that? So, it's going to be 60 over here and then 19 right here. Yeah. Is it 15 times 4? It's 15 times 4, right? But you have to divide by 10. Okay, so this one, if you divide by 2, will become 2/5. This one, if you divide by 5, will become 3/2. Yeah? Okay, so that's going to be 2m plus 3, 5m plus 2. Okay, I think you forgot to divide, or you forgot to reduce. You forgot to reduce. But you got your combinations right. I can see where you're getting 10p plus 15, and yeah, if I put 10p plus 15 and 10p plus 4, you see like I'm not getting 6 from here because when I multiply the last one, I must get 6. Yeah? Okay, so I think you forgot to divide by 10. But your combinations are perfect, honey. Okay, number 13. 13. Okay, so 2x minus 3 and then x minus 4. Okay, so 2x squared. Yep, that's correct. This will become negative 3x and this will become negative 8x. So when you add, you get negative 11. That's perfect. Okay, that's great. Some more? Some more? If you guys are tuning in, you're going to walk away with like half of all of these questions done. So make sure you're writing this down. Or you're going to do all 20 all by yourself later on. And don't forget to subscribe to the video so you can watch our screencast. Anybody else? So if you have all these numbers already, make sure you put them in Schoology. Yeah, and then you can resume it later on. You have 2 attempts. So you don't have to submit it if not all of them are answered. But it will save those that you know, initially entered. Okay? And then when you're watching TV, maybe tonight, or you're babysitting your sibling, you know, grab your notebooks and start working on them. This should be like light work. You should be able to like do some of these while watching TV. Hmm. Some more? Anybody? We were walking at the park yesterday or last night, and there's this one student who texted me via Remind. So I was like solving on my phone. Yeah, because once I get home, I probably won't be able to sit down and do it anyway. Multitasking at its best. Some more? Anybody else? Could you show how to do number 19? 19. Sure. Um, okay, so let's do this. That's gonna be, what was that? So what's the product of 20 and 11? If the numbers are big, sometimes I just leave them like this. You know, 20 times 11, and then I write 49 over here, right? Okay, so now we're gonna find 2 combinations for 20 times 11 that add up to 49. And the reason why sometimes it's easier to not multiply them together and leave them apart is you can break down the 20 into what? Like 10 times 2, and then you're gonna multiply the 11, right? Yeah. And another combination would be what? Like 5 times 4 is 20 times 11. And I think it's kind of more obvious here that if you do the 4 times 11, that's 44. And then if you add the 5, you get 49. So did you see the technique that I used there? Yeah, so I did not multiply 20 times 11 together because that will just make my numbers bigger, right? But instead of multiplying them together, I tried to kind of find the possible combinations. I broke down 20 as 10 times 2 times 11, and then, or 5 times 4 times 11. But then that kind of gives me a clue like, oh yeah, 4 times 11 is 44, right? And, you know, times, and then I've multiplied that by 5. If I add 44 and 5, that gives me 49, right? Isn't that cool? Okay, then you gotta divide by 11. Divide by 11, divide by 11. But this one is what? 44 divided by 11? That's 4. So the correct answers here would be n 11 plus 5. I had to like change my mind because that's bigger. That's plus 5. This is only plus 4, so I had to put the plus 5 first. 11n plus 5 and then n plus 4. Okay. All right, so that's another technique. Don't multiply the numbers so you can break it down further. I hope I helped you with that. Anybody else who has tried any? Okay, so if nobody else is going to share, so spend the last 5 minutes to enter all those answers that you got today in Schoology and do some more. Okay, and I have also enabled the third set, so if you wanna move on, that's fine. Can I do the Delta Math later on because there is no link? Okay. Um. Oh, by the way, I think I haven't made the Schoology entry for this live, so just keep them on your notebook for the meantime. I will try to upload that. If not tonight, tomorrow. George, you always George, just go to deltamath.com. You don't need my link, honey. Just go to that and then you log in as you. Yeah? Let me see. Do you have a Delta Math account? Yeah, you do because you were able to access it. Yeah, just go to Delta Math and then you log in as a student. Are these just all extra credit? Not all of them, honey. So what I mean by extra credit is if it's out of 15 originally, sometimes I make it out of 10. So if you don't finish all, that's okay as long as you reach, like the minimum number of items you gotta do. So most of them are 15 or 20 points. Yeah. So sometimes the 15 points I make it over 10, the 20 points I make it out of 15. So it's still important that you do as many as you can do. Okay. All right, you guys. So thank you for joining me today. Please use the remainder of the time to kind of do some Schoology work and Delta Math if you haven't finished them. And text me via Remind if you need office hours appointment. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a great Tuesday. You too, honey. Thank you. Yeah, sure.